Welcome to the Penguin Rundown. I'm Zach Humphreys.
And I'm Pat Andrews. On today's show, we're going to preview women's and men's basketball as they both kick off their season this upcoming Friday. We're also going to go over volleyball's last homestand of the season. We'll take you to Illinois for the Penguins football game out against Illinois State, and we'll also preview for next week. But Zach, why don't you get us started with women's basketball?
Sure. Women's basketball starts up on Friday. I'll have the call actually up in Pittsburgh. We'll be up there for an 11 o'clock start. Be sure to check that out. We got a few comments today actually from head coach Bob Bolden on his expectations to start the season.
Coach, you talk about just the excitement of the season starting. It's your first year with this club as a head coach. Talk about the excitement.
Yeah, everybody's excited, from our staff to our players. There's even a little bit of excitement around the community to find out what this new team and the new staff is going to look like. The first couple games are exciting because you go against each other so much in practice leading up to it. It's nice to see a different face and really try to compete, and somebody that's going to run something different, and you got to guard it differently. They'll guard you differently. You can make adjustments. You're finally competing as one unit instead of against each other. So things of that sort are all kind of lead into and build up the excitement of playing your first weekend.
What kind of improvements have you seen in this team since you got them on the floor as a group?
Well, I think we're shooting the ball better. We're doing a better job of passing the ball. I guess our fundamentals have improved from top to bottom. I still think we have a ways to go before we're a good team, but we've shown improvement, and if we continue to show improvement, we should have a success.
Pat, the new head coach, very calm, very under control. What do you think for him for this season?
Well, they're going to have a motion-style offense here at YSU for this year. A lot of outside shooting for this team. Me and you, we peeked in on their practice a little earlier today, and they're just shooting around, but we didn't see a lot of balls not go through the net. There are definitely some good shooters on this team. And another note, Tiara Jones will be a very important key this year, as we hope that she can complement Brandy Brown. Last year, a lot of times Brandy Brown would get suffocated down low, but hopefully Tiara will be there to kind of help her out this year and free her up down low.
Yeah, a lot of freshmen came in that could shoot the ball from the outside. Like you said, Tiara Jones. She's kind of a wing player, too, in the sense because she can go off the dribble. She's quick enough to take you off the dribble and beat you, much like Brandy Brown is, so it should be fun to watch the girls this season. As far as men's, Coach Slocum had this to say in the press conference this morning.
We're excited. Obviously, it's been since I've been here, we've never been able to play a couple games at home to kick off your year. We're usually on the road, and that being said, it's good to be at home. Obviously, at this time of the year, you're excited to see other people. With all the new guys that we do have, there's a little, I think, nervousness to know how we're going to react to it and how things are going to go because we've got so many new faces, but. We're excited about it, excited to kick off our year.
Men's basketball, another place where there's going to be a lot of new faces. Pat, you have 10 new guys coming in, and a bunch of guys that were hurt last year had to sit out via the transfer issues. But a lot of new faces, and Coach Slocum definitely very excited to start the season.
Yeah, it should be a very, very excited season. I know for me personally, I'm looking forward to see how Damian Ergel does here in Youngstown, the Warren G. Harding product. He pretty much dominated the local high school basketball around here, and I know Youngstown State's really hoping for him to be able to translate his talents here in Youngstown. Someone, kind of long and athletic like he is and can also jump out of the roof. Hopefully, we'll see him bring success here to Youngstown. Just a reminder, they play this Friday at 7 p.m. That is against Samford. And
yeah, that'll be a 7 o'clock start here at the Beagley Center. Remember, that's $1 admission if you have your Sheets card. So that's another thing they're doing this season. There'll be a lot of games that way with the $1 general admission for specific cards that you have in your wallet. Now we'll go to some players. Boki Dimitrov speaks first for the women's side. She's one of the only seniors on the bunch.
How about being the only senior on the team? What's that experience been like for you, and as far as being a leader and that kind of thing?
Well, yeah, that's true that I'm the only senior on the team. That's kind of, let's say, a unique situation. I really feel responsible for everything, what's going on the court and off the court. So I had to be the leader, and I think I can do that.
Boki, how excited are you and the rest of the team? It's a new coach, new system, new everything. Is a lot of excitement around the start of this year?
Oh yeah, of course. but we're just practicing hard every day and waiting for that first game. I think that things changed. We improved a lot in last 2 months, so I think that's a good sign.
Is it nice having players to practice with, like several of them?
Yeah, of course, we have even 11 players on our roster, so assistant coaches don't have to practice with us, actually.
What kind of improvements have you seen or felt?
Well, at first I think we shoot the ball better. We need to do that if we want to win games. And the other thing is we play that motion offense, and I think it will work. And we just get better every day.
And that's Boki Dimitrov, or the Serbian assassin, as I like to call her. She could definitely shoot it, Pat.
Yeah, we saw her. One of those girls I was talking about today. I don't think I saw her miss 2 consecutive threes before practice. So hopefully she can translate that into the actual games for the Penguins. Should be fun to watch.
And not by design, we have another international player in Vitas Solskis on the men's side from Lithuania. Here's what he had to say prior to the season starting.
Vitas, how exciting is it to be finally your final season as a Penguin, and it starts this week?
Oh, it's very exciting. We had a long preseason. It was very tough, but it's finally here, and the whole team is very excited.
What are the challenges, you being one of the leaders here on this team, the challenges with the young team that you guys face here early on?
Well, since we have like 10 new guys, everyone asks a lot of questions, how it is, how we're going to play, and me, Ashton, and Dan being the only returners, we have to answer all those questions and just talk to the guys, just know what to expect from these teams, that it's not going to be easy to win, that we got to bring it every night, and we got to compete.
As a team, what's the biggest improvement you feel like you guys have made from day one of practice up until now?
I'd probably say defense, because we've been working a lot on our defense, and we still got a lot to do, but I feel pretty confident that we're getting better every time we practice, and all the guys are committed to defend the ball.
And of course, Pat, he's famous for Youngstown's version of the shot.
Yeah, against Milwaukee a couple years ago, he hit the game winner. I believe it was wasn't it an ESPN game
It was
as well?
an ESPNU game.
So ESPNU game, national television. He was, like you said, the guy hits the shot for the Penguins to give him that win at home that we all remember. Let's kick it over to volleyball now, as they were home twice this past weekend, Friday night against Valpo and Saturday against Loyola, as they were ending their home season, trying to send Haley Kapfer out of the Beagley Center with a W. Let's go to the first highlight against Valpo. Well, here's the box score from that game. Valparaiso took it 3-1. Youngstown State took the first set, 25-21. Then they ended up dropping the next 3, unfortunately, 25-17, 25-10, and 25-17. The loss dropped Youngstown State to 0-13 in the Horizon League. The win bumped Valpo to 9-5. Kelsey Bitter led the way with 8 kills for the Penguins. Tasha Reed added 7. Danny Soublier with 26 assists, and Brianna Kern had 22 digs for the Penguins. Here's some highlights. This is against Loyola this past Saturday. This was senior night for their lone senior, Haley Kapfer, as the Penguins. This is their last home game of the year, trying to get that first conference win.
Yeah, Loyola took a 2-0 lead in this thing. Penguins brought it all the way back and had an 8-7 lead in that final set, Pat, but just couldn't get over the hump. And Loyola ended up running off, actually, 7 straight to win it.
Yeah, for those who don't know, in volleyball, in the 5th set, once one team gets to 8, you switch sides on the court. And Youngstown State took that 8-7 lead, then they ended up switching sides. And I'm not going to blame the side of the court or anything like that. Just, some unfortunate plays and stuff along those lines. But they just couldn't get the ball down on the other side of the net. And like you said, Loyola runs off 8 straight points, and they ended up taking it 3-2. 25-22, 25-9, 22-25, 15-25, and 15-8. The loss drops Youngstown State to 0-14 in the Horizon League. Loyola goes up to 3-12. Marissa Hundout led the way with 10 kills and 12 digs. Tasha Reed also chipped in with 12 kills, 5 blocks. Brianna Kern with 25 digs, and Haley Kapfer on senior night pitched in 10 kills and 5 blocks for the Penguins.
And Youngstown State football was at Illinois State, and they lost another heartbreaker late, under a minute to play. We do not have any highlights for you, but we do have a box score. There's the final. 41-39 is your final. Youngstown State just continues to score points. The problem is they can't stop anybody. Illinois State goes to 5-5, 4-4 in the League, Youngstown State goes to 3-7 and 1-6 in the league. Kurt Hess is 19 of 38 for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dominique Barnes seems like gets over 100 every week. He had 8 catches, no touchdowns for him. Jermaine Cook, 43 carries, almost 50 for Cook. 213 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day for Jermaine.
And just so people know, we don't have highlights from the action, but to let them know how that game ended, Youngstown State scored with under 30 seconds left to put them up. What was it? It was 39-34. So, we kick off, and Illinois State, 2 consecutive Hail Marys. The first one, the guy catches the ball. They didn't have any timeouts. This is kind of unlucky for Youngstown State. If he catches the ball and falls in bounds, the clock runs out, game over. He catches the ball, and fortunately for Illinois State, falls out of bounds, so they get another play. And then on the last play of the game, Hail Mary to the back of the end zone, Illinois State catches it, wins the game, and just like you said, another heartbreaker for the Penguins.
That's just, it would happen like that, right? The way things have been going, and hopefully they can finish up on the right foot next week at home with Indiana State. Speaking of next week, let's go in to see what we have on the Penguin Preview.
On November 12th, very busy day here for Youngstown State. Women's basketball opens up their season as an 11 a.m. tip-off at Pittsburgh. My partner here, Zach, will be bringing that game to you on the HLN. November 12th, swimming and diving. Also, that's at 4 p.m. We'll host Bowling Green. We'll also have that one for you on the HLN.
Yeah, Trevor Parks, our SID, will actually be on the call with that, with Olivia Arnold for that one.
Also, November 12th at 7 p.m., men's basketball will kick off their season against Sanford right here at the Beagley Center. And volleyball will wrap up. This is not their second to last game at 7 p.m. at Butler.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. Moving a little bit further into the weekend, November 13th, football will be at Indiana State, will be right here versus Indiana State. That's a 1 o'clock start. November 13th at 4 p.m., volleyball will be at Wright State. November 16th at 7 o'clock, men's basketball will be here versus Buffalo. That will be their second game of this season. Remember to follow YSU Athletics on the web, ysusports.com, facebook.com/YSU Sports, or Twitter at YSU Sports.
And just some things to look forward to next week. Obviously, for me personally, I love college basketball season. I can't wait to see what this Penguins team is able to do this Friday against Sanford, and then also next Tuesday against Buffalo. 2 games that they'll be challenging, but they're definitely winnable for Youngstown State. So we should get a good glimpse of what they'll bring to the table this year.
Right. I was just going to say, and who knows what you're going to get. Everybody might as well come out and check it out because we don't know either. You got a bunch of new faces on both sides. It should be fun to watch.
Yep.
For Zach Humphreys
and Pat Andrews,
we'll see you next week on the Penguin Rundown.